Hello, friends. Hello, Mr. R.
Hey, Miss Garcia.
Thank you for joining us today for At Home with APS. We're so excited that you're here with us. We will be joined by Miss Martindale, of course, a little bit later. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Me too.
We have so much learning going on today.
Yeah.
So we're just going to dive right in. We would like to look at our essential question first. Okay, our essential question: what does adaptation looks like?
Oh, I know what that
That's
looks
what we
like.
think. We're trying to. So, what do you think is your biggest challenge facing a human mission to Mars?
Helps from that.
And I'd like to go over some vocabulary with you, friend. Mr. Allen,
Yes,
that is
Miss
a
Garcia.
very big bag of cotton balls.
Yes,
Why are you shoving all that stuff in that bag?
I'm adapting.
You're adapting.
I'm adapting. Yes, I am adapting, Miss Garcia. I am showing our viewers what adapting looks like because I'm adapting out of here.
You're adapting out of here. What's going on? What's the problem?
Well, you know, I'm going.
We're in the middle of a lesson.
I know, but we have to show them what adaptation looks like, and I'm going to show them by adapting to this virus.
Ah.
I am adapting out of here.
You're adapting. Friends, Mr. R is leaving. What do you mean you're adapting out of here?
Well, I decided the best way to adapt to the virus is to get away from it, and so I am going to. I know where there's no virus.
You're going to go to maybe a different city?
No.
Different state?
No, there's still viruses there. Yet there's nowhere that the virus really
Are you
hasn't
going to live
gone.
underground?
Oh, that's a good idea. No, it's too dark.
Jump in a spaceship?
Oh, yes, I am going to the moon, and I'm taking my disc golf frisbees with me, and we are adapting to the moon.
You're going to go to the moon?
There's no virus on the moon.
Can you live there?
Oh, that's a good question.
Huh. Will you... Adapting?
Yeah.
Huh. Real quick, friends, I want you to think about, Mr. R, what you're trying to do. You're adapting because of the virus, so you want to run away.
Isn't that what adapting is?
Well, it is.
Okay.
Not running away, but, let's look up here what we have. We have adapting. You're adjusting to new conditions, so you're changing or modifying something to fit your needs. So you don't want to be here with the coronavirus. So your needs are to skedaddle.
So is me running away like adapting? Or is that really just me running away?
No, let's not say running away.
Oh, okay.
So you are trying to adapt to your new environment, which right now we currently are having social distancing, online learning. We don't get to be around everyone that we want to, and we're trying to survive together and learning new ways, and I think it's getting to it. And so you would like to adapt by leaving.
You're just saying that because I want to live on the moon.
He wants to live on the moon. Friends, I really want to go dive deeper with Mr. R. But all this packing and adapting made me forget about our vocabulary words.
Oh, yeah.
So, real quick, friends, we had taught you 2-column notes, right? We taught them how to do those. Vocabulary on one side, meaning on the other. Remember that?
Yes.
We are not going to write the vocabulary words down for you, nor are we going to give you the meaning. We think if it's an important word or a word that you want to remember or you think you need for your resources later, or as we help Mr. R through his adapting, you write these words down and what they mean, and we'll try to remember to say what they mean.
Yes.
So how about our first word be?
Adaptation.
Yeah, adapting.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Adaptation.
Yeah.
And adaptation is not running away.
It is not.
No. What is it?
It is adjusting to new conditions, the change or modifying to fit your needs. So we are trying to find a way for Mr. R to adapt here on Earth, or the moon, or a planet, or a hole underground.
Well, I just thought it'd be a really cool idea if I looked for another planet to live on that didn't have a virus. So maybe we could talk about how I adapt to that.
I think that sounds really cool.
Oh.
But will you explain your thinking, though? How would you do that?
I don't know.
What would we tell our students?
About what?
Well, if we want our students, they have maybe an idea and they have questions, they're not sure, but they want to do something, what could we have them do? What would we tell them to do?
Write
Take it
it
away.
Write it down.
Write it down.
Write it down. That's a
Write it
great
down.
idea.
Yes. So
Okay,
this is
hold on.
Mr. R's thinking, so we are going to see what he likes.
So I'm trying to adapt. I'm thinking about the virus, right?
So you're moving.
I'm moving. That's right, I'm moving.
He's leaving.
I'm thinking I'm going to do this sort of bubbly thing. I'm going to move. I'm moving.
You're moving.
Okay, and I want to get out of here.
Okay, where would you like to go?
Oh,
How about that? Think about that.
well, I told you the only place that the virus isn't are other planets. So I'm going to record my idea right here. Other planets.
Other planets. I like his thinking so far. He's moving. Where does he want to go? Other planets.
Yeah. So what are the other planets?
Ha. So, Miss Martindale kind of gave me an idea to keep a journal.
Yes.
And so she has been telling me about different things to learn about. Economics, planets, history, social studies, all kinds of things, because English language arts is the gateway to all learning.
That's right. That's why we focus a lot as teachers on reading, because it opens up all the other subjects.
She said something. She told me, hey, look up some planets, and I have them in my notes. Aha.
Okay.
Have some. I don't know if they're all of them. We have Mercury.
That's where I'm moving. Mercury.
You like Mercury?
That is where I'm going to move. Mercury.
I don't know.
It sounds cool.
It has water.
It does?
It does.
Well, that's all I need, water. If there's fish in water, I'm good. I can catch fish, drink water. I'm good on Mercury. It's done. I'm getting my bag ready, Miss.
Social distancing.
Well, I just need that over here so I can pack and go.
But Mercury, the temperature changes so quickly.
Yeah.
1 minute it's like 800 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
And then the next,
Yeah.
it's like freezing temperatures below like 500.
Oh.
So you could be outside, and then all of a sudden you'd freeze to death
Oh, that's not
without
good.
you even knowing. And there's lack of an atmosphere, so you can't really breathe.
Oh.
So, but you can write, there is water.
We'll put it, right? They have water and
My
fish.
notes also say, I didn't say fish.
Maybe I was just thinking fish.
No. But temperature changes rapidly, and there's no atmosphere.
Big temp.
Yeah, big temp.
No atmosphere.
Yes.
Wish I could abbreviate that. Oh, well.
What about...
I know what's next to Mercury.
What?
Ah,
I don't have
and
that
they
in my notes.
call her the sister Earth.
Which
no,
one?
the Earth's a sister. Earth's cousin?
Earth to Mr. R?
Venus.
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 I like Venus. Okay, I have this one on my notes. Venus, active volcanoes, but it's too hot.
What? No, Hawaii has volcanoes. I can move to
I know,
Venus.
but Venus is so hot, it's hot enough to melt lead.
Ah,
That's how hot it is.
so no fish.
No fish there either. So Venus, too hot. Just put too hot. No, too hot.
I'm running out of planets to move to.
What about Jupiter?
Oh, I know what's right next to Venus. Earth.
You were already here, so just stay with us.
I don't like that idea.
Okay, no.
Jupiter, that's that big giant one. Oh, I could have the whole giant planet to myself.
You
King
can.
of Jupiter.
I love Jupiter, but guess what?
What?
It's full of liquid hydrogen.
I don't even know what that is. What is that, like a gas?
I don't know, kind of thinking like, you can't breathe this gas. Like when I think of liquid hydrogen, I think of those baking shows where they want the stuff to freeze quicker and then they're pouring it into their mix and then it helps the stuff freeze instantly. Okay, so
Wait a minute. So what you're saying is if I'm going to live on Jupiter, I need to live in a balloon.
But then the liquid hydrogen I could flick you and you would shatter.
Oh, gosh.
So no Jupiter.
Boy,
What
you
else?
are just touting me out here. All right, next to Jupiter. Oh, wait a minute. It's that naughty one.
Saturn?
Yeah.
So you do have Saturn. You could write Saturn, and they're... Why are you falling at that?
I thought it was the other one. It is Saturn.
Mr. R's losing it big time.
All right. I am moving to Saturn. She's got those pretty rings, and I could live
She
on the
does,
rings.
she does. There is plant life in the rings.
Oh, get out of here.
Some plant life has been discovered, but how are you going to get past the rings to get to the planet to live on?
Are the rings dangerous?
Yes, they are.
Oh.
It's like kajillion rocks just orbiting.
Oh, I saw a video, and those rocks, if they run into you, you explode.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no. All right,
So no Saturn.
Saturn, I'm going to put a maybe.
Okay. I know there's Uranus. There's no oxygen there, though.
It's pronounced Uranus.
Uranus. Uranus.
Oh, tomato. Sin cane, sin
Coin.
coin. All right.
So no to that.
Wait, why not to that one?
There's no oxygen. There's no breathable anything.
Can't I just convert?
No.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Plants make oxygen. I'll just take a plant with me. But how am I going to grow the plant?
Well, what do you need to survive? How about you have moving and where. Let's think about what do you need to survive out there?
Survival.
Boys and girls, what we are doing is our own kind of research. I would say we're thinking, we're researching, we're investigating materials and sources. We're trying to get some facts together. So research could be a vocabulary word.
This is just like your vocabulary, because you did the research and now we're using it to apply to our thinking.
Yeah.
So I can find a planet to move to.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
we're investigating, which is discovering facts.
Okay.
Investigate, discover facts. So you need
What do we?
air.
We need air.
I don't have that in my notes. Oh, I do. To survive, you need air, water, food, shelter,
No.
maybe sanitation, maybe security. That's on personal need.
Shelter.
Food.
Food. Fish.
You need oxygen.
Well, I got air.
Okay. You need sunlight. You need those rays, that vitamin D.
Vitamin
So you
D.
need all that stuff.
Yeah.
Going
So,
back to your planets, though, I do not want to take away from your survival. One that I think all us ladies would like, Neptune.
wait,
It rains diamonds there, literally.
like real diamonds.
I looked it up, and it was a credible source, and it said it rains diamonds. Now, maybe it has the same chemical balance as what's in a diamond.
I
But
see
it
what
rains
you're
diamonds.
doing here. You're trying to talk me out of going to Neptune because you want all the diamonds for yourself.
I do. I want diamonds.
I'm running out of room.
I want a big one.
Hey, Neptune, that's a gas giant too, isn't it? I'd have to live in a balloon there.
What about, like, moons? You said moons.
Ooh,
Because a lot of these planets have moons.
so I could live on the moon. We have a moon. There's no virus there.
We've landed there.
That's true. But I don't know if there has all the things for me to survive. Is there food on the moon?
You could take astronaut food. But
Is there
no.
water on the moon?
Uh-uh.
Is there shelter on the moon?
The rover.
Oh gosh, Miss Garcia.
Well, what I'm
This is-
thinking,
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to have a hard time moving.
well, because I knew Mercury, you can build a shelter that you could actually live in. But once you're there, you need to figure out how to, like, you can set it up to where you could still breathe and, heat it up. But what about your food? I don't
guess-
think you can take, like, food that you like. I couldn't survive because I would want to take, like, Takis and all kinds of, like, junk food. But good food to survive on. Where are you going to get that from?
You know what you're doing? You're asking a lot of questions. And I think that's something that I don't even think about. I mean, when we take notes, we are writing down all these incredible ideas, but what's pushing them forward?
The investigating after your note-taking, asking more questions.
I like that. Isn't that one of your vocabulary words?
Well, we have research, we have investigate.
Yeah. Yeah, so So when we're investigating, which you said is to discover the facts, it's like you're asking the questions, right? And so we're digging deep to ask more questions, and that
Right here. So research,
is research.
investigate.
Huh. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
This vocabulary is very handy.
And I hope you're at home and you are finding some of these words that we're saying that you didn't know what they meant before, and you're writing them down.
Oh, yeah.
Just like what we did together, boys and girls. We would have our 2-column notes. We would have vocabulary on one side, meaning on the other. You, my friends, are choosing the words that, you might need for investigation. And hopefully we are telling you what the meaning is, and then you're writing it down. We are helping you by telling you some vocabulary words that's in the lesson today.
And you know what's wild is this is all coming up naturally. Like, we naturally do research. We look stuff up, and even the kids at home, they find things and they investigate them. I bet some of our families at home like to fish or hunt. Talk about research there. You've got to pay attention to the area. You've got to learn about your surroundings.
Yep.
If you're if you're a fisherman or fisherwoman, you've got to think about, water temperatures and how those play, and you've got to research those
These
things.
are lots of questions. My mind is going, whoa, 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 whoa.
Man, we're asking a lot of questions.
A lot of questions.
Huh. Miss Garcia, this is awesome.
I want to ask a few more, if that's okay. A few more questions.
That is absolutely okay.
So you have where you want to move,
No,
kind of. Then we talked about survival.
we did.
How are you going to get there? Did we think about that?
No, I didn't.
Spaceship? Are we going to slingshot you there? Are you going to ride in a hot air balloon, which is famous in New Mexico? You could borrow one.
That is something. And
How would you get there?
And that would fall into adaptation, right? Because we're trying to think about how to move.
Yeah.
So like transport, I was picking blackberries in the forest behind my wife's grandparents' house. They have wild blackberries there. And in those blackberries are the seeds, right? And what happens is the animals eat them, and they don't digest the seeds, and they get transported through their, what's the scientific word? Scat. I like that. And then those seeds get buried in the ground. They have the fertilizer from the scat, and those seeds adapted to the moving and the transport. That's part of their adaptation.
So how they're moving.
Yeah. So
Friends, Mr. R brought it to my attention that he wants to adapt. He wants to leave. Where is he going to go? How's he going to get there? What kind of food? It's like a lot of questions. Like,
what kind of scat is going to transport me to another planet?
So let me tell you something.
Yes.
There is a person, a very special sidekick to you and I. She's really good at questioning, putting questions together, answering them, our whole thought process. Like you and I, we did something amazing here. We thought out what you were thinking. And it's not a bad idea. It's an amazing idea. It's magnificent. But what I think is that we need to maybe have a coffee talk with Miss Martindale.
I was thinking disc golf, but yes, coffee talk is better.
Coffee talk with Miss Martindale?
Coffee talk with Miss Martindale.
And what I know she told me that she had this amazing book. So what we're going to do, friends, we're going to have a coffee talk with Mr. R, Miss Martindale, and we are going to read Ada Twist, Scientist.
I like that.
Boy, Mr. R, I'm looking behind you, and that is some crazy mumbo jumbo.
And I would invite you to that mumbo jumbo, but only room for one.
Okay. I like your thinking, though.
Yeah, about moving to another planet?
Right, to escape the coronavirus.
Well, maybe I shouldn't do that, but it is an interesting idea, and I know several other people have thought of it before.
They have.
Yeah.
In fact, Mr. R, one planet you and Miss Garcia did not talk about was, dun dun dun, Mars.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was sitting in the audience waiting and waiting for Mars to come up, and it didn't.
You're kidding. Oh my gosh. You were right.
And that's okay. That's okay. The reason I know about Mars
Yeah.
is because in my 5th grade class, we get to go to the Air Force Research Lab and do a grand activity called Mission to Mars.
I forgot about that. I am such a knucklehead.
Right.
And why Mars? Why do they do it around Mars?
So they do it around Mars because Mars is the closest planet where life may be possible to exist with some adaptations.
Oh, I've heard about this. It's an area called the Continuum Habitable Zone or something
Okay.
or another. And Mars fits in it. So is it possible to live on Mars?
So I think that's what scientists are trying to investigate. They're sending up rovers up there. I believe on my research that by the year 2032, correct me if I'm wrong out there, they are hoping to have some colonies on Mars.
That's only 12 years away.
It's only 12 years away.
Wow. Well, if they can get to Mars, I'm sure they could get to the other planets.
Right, but apparently Mars has the perfect situation where people are able to adapt. Now, I would have to do more research on the atmosphere, on if there's really water up there, but it might be something that you could focus your mumbo jumbo on.
Well, let me tell you about my mumbo jumbo.
Okay.
And I think it ties into your research.
Okay.
Because what Ms. Garcia and I were talking about is that all these ideas came out of questions.
Right.
And I guess I didn't realize how powerful questions are and how they push the research. Because isn't that essentially what scientists do? They're trying to just answer the questions, and they do it through researching and investigating and experimenting.
Experimenting and building prototypes.
Hey, I've heard that word before.
I love the word prototypes because if one thing that you build doesn't work, you can always build another prototype. Another prototype.
Oh my gosh.
I wonder, what do you out there think the definition of prototype is that is meaningful to you?
Yeah. So it's like when I built a prototype of my book holder,
Oh my gosh.
that's what a prototype is. Oh, wait, no, I went the wrong direction.
I know. Come towards the light, Mr. R.
But 6 feet away.
Yes.
Wow. So I guess it comes down to the power of a question, right?
Correct.
And that seems like that's where we were kind of going with this is what would it take to move and adapt to another planet?
Right. And when I was writing the essential question, I wanted to narrow it down. What do you think is the biggest challenge facing a human mission to Mars? And you and Ms. Garcia came up with some great ideas. What do you need to survive?
Oh, we talked about this. Food, water, sun, oxygen, shelter, and fish.
Fish, sure. Mr. R, sometimes I need to just reel you in.
Yes.
Did you get that?
Ah.
Real fish? God, hilarious. Anyways, so maybe we can narrow your thinking on just one of those survival methods. Think about it.
Okay.
Okay, while I read this book, is that okay?
That, I think that would be awesome because when you have read books in the past They always spur ideas for me, and maybe we could do a coffee talk after.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So today I brought my glasses because our last reading I didn't do so well, so I learned my lesson.
Okay.
All right. And I realized this book was already read with some other grade levels, but this just shows how ELA is the bridge, English Language Arts, is the bridge to STEM. What is STEM, Mr. R?
I know this one. It is science, technology,
Yes.
engineering, and math.
Very good, Mr. R. Without being able to read or write, you would have a hard time conducting experiments or investigating or building prototypes. So this is a book called Ada Twist Scientist by Andrea Beatty and illustrated by David Roberts. Are you paying attention, Mr. R?
I am. I'm actually thinking about the questions that I need to consider.
Okay. I'm trying to turn the pages.
There we go.
Ada Marie said not a word till the day she turned 3. She bounced in her crib and looked all around, observing the world, but not making a sound. She learned how to climb and made her big break with a trail of chaos left in her wake. She ran through the day, chasing each sound and sight, and didn't slow down till she conked out at night. Oh, wow. That is one messy room, and she's conked out on top of her dresser. Her parents were frazzled, but tried not to freak as Ada grew bigger and still did not speak. Clearly, young Ada, with lots in her head, would have something to say when it ought to be said. That's just what happened when Ada turned 3. She tore through the house on a fact-finding spree and climbed up the clock just as high as she could. Ada's chin quivered, but she did not cry. She took a deep breath and she simply asked, why? I like how you're taking notes, Mr. R. Why does it tick and why does it talk? Why don't we call it a granddaughter clock? Why are there pointy things stuck to a rose? Why are there hairs up inside your nose? I like this, Ada. She started with why and then what, how and when. By bedtime she came back to why once again. She drifted to sleep as her dazed parents smiled at the curious thoughts of their curious child who wanted to know what the world was about. They kissed her and whispered, "You'll figure it out." Her parents kept up with their high-flying kid whose questions and chaos both grew as she did. I love this picture because it reminds me of Mr. R's mumbo jumbo, all her thoughts and all her words. Even Miss Greer found her hands were quite full when young Ada's chaos wreaked havoc at school. But this much was clear about Miss Ada Twist. She had all the traits of a great scientist. Ada was busy that first day of spring, testing the sounds that make mockingbirds sing, when a horrible stench whacked her right in the nose, a pungent aroma that curled up her toes. "Zowie," said Ada, which got her to thinking, what is the source of that terrible stinking? How does a nose know where something to smell? And does it still stink if there's no nose to tell. She rattled off questions and tapped on her chin. She'd start at the start, where she ought to begin. A mystery, a riddle, a puzzle, a quest. This was the moment that Ada loved best. Ada did research to learn all she could of smelling and smells, both stinky and good. One hypothesis Ada thought could be true, that terrible stink came from Dad's cabbage stew. She tested and tested, but soon Ada knew it was time to come up with hypothesis 2. Then Zowie, the stink stunk again, just like that. Hypothesis 2, it's caused by the cat. The cat couldn't make such a stink on its own. It needed perfume and some fancy cologne. So young Ada tested. The test was a flop. She started again, but her parents yelled, "Stop!" I see why they're telling her to stop. Ada Marie, to the thinking chair. Now, by the time we count 3, enough, said her mother. That's it, said her dad. Her parents were frustrated, frazzled, and mad. Why? Ada questioned. Her mother said, no. What? Ada queried. Her father said, go. You've ruined our supper. You've made the cat stink. Enough with your questions. Now sit there and think. She looked at her parents. Her heart turned to goo. Poor Ada Twist didn't know what to do. She sat all alone by herself in the hall, and Ada once more could say nothing at all. And so Ada sat, and she sat, and she thought about science and Stu and the cat and how our experiments made such a big mess. Does it have to be so? Is that part of success? Our messes and problems? And while she was thinking, what was the source of that terrible stinking? Ada Marie did what scientists do. She asked a small question, and then she asked 2. And each of those led her to 3 questions more, and some of those questions resulted in 4. As Ada got thinking, she really dug in. She scribbled her questions and tapped on her chin. She started at why, and then what, how, and when. At the end of the hall, she reached why once again. Her parents calmed down, and they came back to talk. They looked at the hallway and just had to gawk. No patch of bare paint could be seen on the wall. The thinking chair now was the great thinking hall. They watched their young daughter and sighed as they did. What would they do with this curious kid who wanted to know what the world was about? They smiled and whispered, "We will figure it out." And that's what they did, because that's what you do. When your kid has a passion and a heart that is true, they remade their world. Now they're all in the act of helping young Ada sort fiction from fact. She asks lots of questions. How could she resist? It's all in the heart of a young scientist. And as for that smell, what can Ada Twist do but learn all she can with her friends in grade 2? Will they discover the stink that curls toes? Well, that is the question, and someday, who knows? The end.
Wow.
So, Mr. R, what'd you think?
I didn't realize how my experience connected to hers. And then I kind of figured it out. Because while you're reading, I was taking notes just to help me think through my process. And it started off with why.
It did.
Everything started with a question with her. And that question led her to try and figure out the what and then the how. And then that went to testing, and it became this mystery and this puzzle. And she developed these hypotheses, multiple hypotheses.
I'm just going to let you keep going.
And there was lots of think time, and
there was a lot of mistakes too.
And
that
that's
she
what
made.
that's what I liked it in there. She talked about success being messy.
Famous failures.
Oh yeah, we talked. Wow, it's crazy how these things are all connected.
They are all connected.
And what was the most impactful after hearing that book was how after she asked this question and went on this big long journey to try and answer it, it brought her right back to why again.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened with Miss Garcia and myself. Is I started off with the question, how do I get away from this virus? And I decided to move to a planet. And Miss Garcia then proposed some things that would kind of get in the way. And so I kept having to figure out, well, where do I go now? What do I do next? How am I going to move there? And then by the time we were done, it was pretty obvious that I wasn't going to be able to move to a planet. So then it brought me back to the beginning, and I think I really need to focus my questions.
Okay.
I mean, maybe it's not so much I need to move to get away from the virus right now, but I'm wondering if I need to narrow it down because maybe there is something we can do.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Okay. So I really like your thinking about moving to a planet.
Yeah.
Because I really feel it's something that we will be doing. Maybe not us. We're a little bit older. But our children and you out there will be moving to another planet or colonizing another planet. So let's kind of keep going with that idea because I love it. And I'd love to share some ideas with our audience as well.
Okay.
What specific thing do you think you could take to this planet to help colonize it? Think about shelter, the things that we need. Shelter, water, food, some sort of air system. You may even want to think of some sort of recreation. What could you design to be a part of this whole process of colonization?
So, thinking about that, I mean, it ties into survival.
Correct?
And if we were to go to Mars, we would want some sort of food.
Okay.
And can't take fish.
Correct.
Not
yet.
Not yet. But is there a food we can take that would provide, I don't know, recreation, that could give us air and oxygen and even food?
So I don't think there's a food you could take, but there is something you could take to help provide you with food, help provide you with oxygen, and be recreational. Oh my gosh, Mr. R, 3 birds with 1 stone. What do you think that could be?
Well, the only thing that I know provides us with oxygen is a plant, but I don't want to take a tree all the way to Mars, Miss Martindale.
I'm really excited about this. What could you take instead of a tree?
I can take a plant I can eat.
Correct. And what do plants come from, Mr. R?
Seeds.
Yes.
Ooh, we could easily take seeds.
We could. You know
Because they're
what?
tiny.
They are tiny. And I know with all your supplies that you were packing, I have an idea. And I bet you Miss Garcia can help me make a prototype of something we can take. And maybe you would like to join us too.
Well, let's see.
That's a lot of cotton, by the way, and I think we can use some of it.
Oh, I've got a lot of balls here, and over here I've got a box. I was going to put coffee in here because I brought a coffee filter because I have to have coffee on my trip, and there's my bowl for cereal.
Okay. So let's take a break, kind of breathe in and calm down, and let's focus on how do we get a plant up to Mars. Sound good?
Yeah. Oh, I already have an idea. We'll just stick it in this big bag.
Okay.
It's done.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so. I think we're going to, well, would you like to do the experiment now?
I think I need a break.
Okay, that's what I'm asking. So I'm going to bring Miss Garcia up so that you can kind of go calm down, have some more coffee, and then we'll go over some prototypes and build our own, I don't know what we'll call it.
Oh, to take the plant mobile.
Right,
Okay.
maybe. All right.
All right,
All
Miss
right.
Mondale.
So we will be right back with Miss Garcia. Oh, Miss Garcia, that hurt my brain.
That was fun, though.
It was fun.
Yeah, I was in the audience listening and lots of questions.
Good. That's great. One thing I forgot to say is what I love about Ada Twist Scientists is the author's purpose. I always think of pie, persuade.
Apple?
The apple. No, not the apple. Persuade, inform, and entertain.
Yes.
So this one actually informs and entertains.
It does both.
Right. So I love this book. It's very informative and entertaining.
Yeah, and I love that you brought that up because I think our friends at home need to know, when you're reading material, whether it be a credible source online, a story, maybe an article or in a magazine, there's always a reason behind it. What's the reason why the author wrote it? And then when you're writing, why am I writing this? Am I trying to inform, persuade, or entertain?
Miss Garcia, that leads us right into one of our text features, which is a diagram. How about we kind of brainstorm together and draw a prototype of what Mr. R was thinking of how are we going to transport these seeds up to Mars?
How is he going to grow them or transport them?
Maybe grow them and transport them.
Ooh, let's think together.
Okay, so
A box,
I know
or-
he has some things here. So let's imagine us putting the seeds in this box. And we could label it as part of our text features. And then real quick while we were at our break, I kind of made some tests. A test sheet right here.
Okay.
So shake. Can it hold a plant if shaken?
Yeah.
I think it passes. Can light get into the box?
Ooh, no.
No. So
Out of here.
see you later.
So this is a big...
That is a failed prototype, but it's okay.
And we could work with our prototypes, right? We could use things that we make and make them better.
Yes.
So if we had that cool box, we probably could have poked holes in it.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
So what might work, what might not work for us may work for you. I would love for you all to come up with a prototype on how to plant a seed and get it up to Mars or any
Love
other
it.
planet.
Okay, what other stuff did he have in that big old bag?
I think he has a coffee filter.
Coffee filter. Ooh, let's see. Kind of looks like a Reese's.
I think you're making me hungry, Miss
It's like
Garcia.
a cracked egg.
Okay, a cracked egg.
So that's a filter.
It's a filter.
Ooh.
Filter. Good.
Filter.
Let's look at our test. Can it hold a plant if shaken?
I think it could.
I'm going to borrow.
Oh, I have some beans.
Okay. Ooh, that would be a good thing to try and plant. So if it's shaken up into our Rocket ship.
They fell.
I don't know. How about holding water? Would this be able to hold water?
I don't think so. I think the water would just go right through.
Ooh, I like how you drew that. Could you label water? We could even do H2O if we wanted to. So is this a good one or a bad one?
I think there's potential there. Maybe it could be used for something else. It might absorb the water.
Okay.
But I don't think it would be the right material to host.
So we don't need it for this experiment.
Get out of here.
All right. All right. What else could we use? I see that you have some paper bags here, or some plastic bags. Huh. I like this. So should we draw a plastic bag up there?
Yes, a Ziploc bag.
Ziploc.
So I would just write,
Or just baggie.
Ziploc or baggie. It's important to always label. So let's say you put your notes away and then later you're looking at them again and you're like, well, I know what it is.
So let's imagine if we put the seed in here and I closed it up. Let's see if it passed or failed the shake test.
Nothing would fall out.
Nothing would fall out. Can light get to the plant?
Yes.
Definitely. So that's a pass. Does the prototype hold water and keep the plant wet?
I think so.
I wonder what we could add from Mr. R's into this bag to hold the water so that it's not just mushing all around.
I don't know. We might not have enough cotton balls.
I think if we just maybe took one or two out, it would
But
be
I
good.
think this would be a good resource to use.
Okay. All right.
What about,
Go ahead.
let's see. So this one so far is a yes.
Yes. That's our best prototype first.
What about a can?
A can. This is my soda. You want to use my soda can?
I think it would hold water like super cool.
It would. And if I put tape on the top, it would pass the shake test. But I think it's going to fail with sunlight.
Oh yeah, no sunlight can get in. Maybe just the top, but that's not enough.
Yeah. I'm going to save my soda because I want to drink it later.
Oh, no throwing it.
No throwing it.
Do we want to go through and maybe check mark what passed, what failed?
Sure.
So that if Mr. R comes back, he could see that we were kind of brainstorming his ideas?
So our baggie, we're going to go with our baggie?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to do baggie. I'm going to write baggie right here. Of plastic. Those are my... And did it shake? Yes. So I'm going to write a big P. Could light get into it? Yes, a big P. And does our prototype hold water? Yes.
Yes, it could.
A big P. Awesome.
And all the other stuff that he brought, you know, there was potential there.
Correct.
Poking holes, modifying, figuring out new ways, but I think this was the best way.
And just because we didn't think of it doesn't mean it's not going to work for you out there.
Yeah, at home, you can, like Ms. Martindale said a minute ago, you can think of other ways. I wish Mr. R would come see some of our cool stuff, maybe see what works, what doesn't, and then maybe we could put together of our own little Ziploc baggies and show him we have the prototype, and then we could actually show him how it works.
Okay, that sounds good.
Oh, okay.
So do we need this cotton anymore?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, I'm going to take a few pieces out. Oh, look who's coming.
Hey, how are you?
Hey there, Miss Garcia, Miss Martindale. How are you?
You're good.
We're 6 feet. 6 feet.
I'm trying to think. I'll stagger.
Hey, so
What do you think? Some note-taking here, some prototypes, some pass or fail ideas that we talked about. Was this what you were thinking? Or?
Oh, for the plant.
Yes.
Yeah, what'd you do?
So we tested some objects, and we found that a plastic baggie works best for our experiment.
Get out of here.
It can withstand being shaken, so the seed will stay inside. Light can get to the plant, and it will hold water.
Wow, perfect. So we can use these to take plants to Mars?
We can use these to take seeds
Oh.
to grow at Mars.
Well,
Okay?
that'll be really cool.
Yeah.
Do you want to try putting one together real quick?
Yeah, do we have time? Yeah,
Let's do
we
it.
have plenty of time.
So I know that Miss Garcia got some beans. She had some little beans. I wonder how to get them soft. What should we do before we take them?
So I was doing some research, and I read on a credible source that it is a good idea to soak your seeds for a whole night prior, or an hour is just fine. And when your seeds are, if they've been in water for a long time, and then you transfer it to whatever you created or decided to transport it into, then you put it in there with either cotton ball or paper towel.
Awesome.
Oh.
So
Do you want to show the other
I
one?
have some apple seeds that Miss Garcia soaked overnight. She had an apple for dinner last night, and she soaked them, and she put, it looks like, what's in there?
Oh my gosh, they're sprouting.
In one night.
All one night.
Are these from like an apple you eat, Miss Garcia?
It is. It was from my dinner.
I want to go plant these.
So what I'm going to
You
do
need to save them for Mars.
is I don't have a paper towel like over on this side, so I'm just going to soak a cotton ball
Even better.
because you have a plethora of cotton ball.
You
Yeah.
have a ton.
You could put the seeds in the cotton
So
ball.
I'm going to put the seeds kind of by the cotton, maybe smush it, and there's some water there. Zip it up,
And let's shake away, see if it passes
shake
the
away,
Oh, the shake test.
test. There you go.
and it works.
Pass. And it's holding water and light can easily get through here.
Right. I might put it on a windowsill or put it outside.
I think you guys have a viable system to take plants or seeds to Mars.
So we can investigate. We might even keep, I know Miss Garcia was talking about her journal, kind of like what Jack did in Love That Dog. She could do she could map its growth. Day 1, they were just seeds. Day 2, they started to sprout. And will it result in planting or will they die? I can't wait to find
And then
out.
I can write a story about it.
This is perfect because this spurred me to do some more research, and I wanted to share it with you guys. Talk about using text features.
Ooh, wow.
Now, I know this may be hard for our friends at home to see, and I do apologize, guys, but this quick research that I did, the author talked about the possibility of living on Mars.
Nice.
And what he said is that Mars is uninhabitable.
Oh.
We can't live on Mars because there's too much carbon dioxide, which is what we breathe out after we breathe in oxygen.
That's too much.
But do you know what converts carbon dioxide back into the air we breathe?
Plants.
Right, we could be the Johnny Appleseeds of Mars. Is it Johnny Appleseed?
Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah.
Of Mars, and we can take these apple trees and plant them on Mars and create some oxygen so that it's possible to live there.
That is brilliant.
And I heard you talking about author's purpose. I think that's exactly what this author was trying to do. He was trying to inform the
Did learn
readers,
something.
right, about the ability to inhabit Mars. Using text features, by the way, I can learn a little bit more about Mars. First, looking at this bubble here, I can see that the gravity on Mars is about 1/3 of what it is on
Okay.
Earth.
Oh,
So
wow.
if you were 180 pounds on Earth, you'd only weigh 60 on Mars.
Oh,
I'm there.
I'm there. Where,
Me first.
you build a shuttle or whatever, and I'm there.
We're all going to Mars. Hold on.
Okay.
The length of a year, though, in Mars is twice as long as Earth. So if you were 48 now, you might be 24 on Mars.
I can handle it.
That's two that I like.
And Mars is a little bit cooler. So if you're a cold weather type of person, Mars is just your place.
I can do that.
So then maybe one of our friends out there could decide what kind of habitat to build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, hey,
That's so cool.
I'm looking forward to doing some more of this with you guys.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us at home with APS. And yeah,
Make sure you maybe try some prototypes
And
send
share
them
it with us.
fly me to the moon.
Are you going to
Fly me
lead
to
us
the
out?
moon.
flags to the moon.
That's time to go.
Thank you guys.
All right.